Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the latest episode of Lads Debate. I know, we're a bit behind. A lot of shit happened. And goddamn it, I'm now going to have to censor that because we're only 10 seconds into the video. Joining me as always is your only mate.
Hey.
And just being the deciding factor in this debate is Sean here.
Yay! I don't have to debate this time.
Yeah, you've kind of debated 3 times in a row. Yeah.
I wonder what that's like. I think it's actually 4 or 5, actually. Because Sam Fisher versus TAS Batman.
Yeah, fair enough. So, Sean, you actually get to take a back seat at this time. And also introducing people to something else that's new for Lads content.
I got band.
We've upgraded our soundboard. Now that we've got a Discord server, join in the description below, we can now just add all sorts of random shit to our soundboard.
God fucking damn it.
Sean, shut the fuck up. I'm going to have to censor that now. But, so from the last Lads debate, this is the first Lads debate where you viewers get to decide the winner. It was between Star-Lord, Han Solo, and Leela. In last place, 10% of people went for Han Solo, and Leela in second place with 27% of votes, and Star-Lord with a whopping 63%. I'll be honest.
Thank you.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's not too surprising, but hey, at least I'm not lost.
Yeah, true. Also, f*** you. So, yeah.
I think, to be fair, we decided, hey, let's do comic book version because the MCU one people have seen before. No one expected Star-Lord to have fought the Olympians.
Yeah, I'm starting to think we should have went with MCU Star-Lord to make it a bit more even. Because honestly, even if somehow people didn't vote for Star-Lord, I would have been like, yeah, I'll throw in the towel. Yeah, Han Solo does not defeat comic Star-Lord.
I mean, 37% of people didn't vote for Star-Lord, so there's probably something.
True. So from our comments from Fireball RKO, good arguments from everyone, but I'm still leaning towards Star-Lord winning this fight. He did. In this matchup, I would cheer for Han Solo, but my guess would be Star-Lord. Still, keep up the good work. P.S. Thanks for liking my username, guys. Never thought my username would be liked by so many. It is a pretty sick name, to be fair. And I'm assuming now I know who the 10% voted for Han Solo is. Do you know what's the disadvantage about doing the votes on my channel? Mate and Sean can just vote for their characters. I can't. I don't have that ability. So I just have to hope more enough people vote for my guy. Whereas these guys could be like, yeah, we're going to give ourselves an advantage. But
it doesn't always help.
No, it's true. From Yang the Insane. Okay, so overall I'm going Star-Lord in this one. He just has too much going for him. If I had to choose between Han and Leia, I would go Han. Leia might have the better ship, but that's all I could see she has over Han. Hell, Han has fought in wars against Force users and Jedi killers. Safe to say he's got more combat experience over Leia. Leela, I would agree with that. In terms of better ship, though, I disagree. I still think the Falcon would destroy Planet Express ship. I think the only thing that ship has is speed. But that's good for running away. It's not good for, fights. How many times has it been destroyed in the series? But that is all comments. Sorry.
Probably less than the amount of times the Guardians have had to change the ship in the comics, at least. They've changed it so many times, goddamn.
Yeah, well, I did actually, after our Lads debate, I did actually look up some wikis. Yeah, I can understand why your frustration was. I could not find a single ship that at least lasted more than 10 comics.
It's just like, here's ship, here's the Milano, here's the David Bowie.
Okay, at some point I need to look into that. But funny enough, though, speaking of Marvel, though...
It's just called the Bowie.
Oh, fair enough. We're doing another Marvel-themed and kind of fitting, because given everything that's going on, we're doing MCU if only Peacemaker was in the MCU. MCU Punisher versus DCU Peacemaker. Now, you may be wondering, why not their comic characters? Because Peacemaker gets fucked. People, if you don't know how...
And not in a fun way.
Yeah, he's probably into that way. People, if you don't know how overpowered the Punisher is, he went from being a street level threat to. I could go through how many comic books I have of the Punisher.
Didn't he become War Machine at one point?
He's become
Like he just found the War Machine armor and just took it?
He's become War Machine. He's taken on Batman. He's killed the entire Marvel universe. Don't ask how. He just somehow did it. Granted, the way
he also took Green Goblin's glider once.
Yeah, and Spider-Man's web fluid. He actually has that. He has his own version of web fluid. Seriously,
I think it was that Punisher run.
Has the cojones to shoot Wolverine in the balls.
Yeah. What does comic book Peacemaker have? He lost an argument with someone on a cashier. If it isn't pretty obvious, people, comic book Punisher destroys comic book Peacemaker.
Also, Bill, I looked at the thumbnails of Peacemaker versus Punisher. I only see Punisher in them. Odd. Oh well.
Dead meme, but I respect that. Mate's just sat there like...
Thank you.
Mate's just sat there like, I don't get it. Yep, so we're doing MCU Punisher versus DCU Peacemaker. Perfect timing, because rumor has it, Punisher is said to be in the new Daredevil season. He's got to at least be a cameo, if he's not.
Or mention.
Yeah. And Peacemaker's coming to Mortal Kombat 1. It's just crazy how Peacemaker... I didn't even know who the hell this guy was. But James Gunn just looked at him and was like, I'm going to put him in the Suicide Squad, and I'm going to make him one of the best streamer series out there with the best opening soundtrack ever.
He pulled his Guardians of the Galaxy magic on Peacemaker. That's what he did.
Yeah, now he's in Mortal Kombat. And he's going to be in an anime soon. It's like... Jesus Christ. But since this is Punisher versus Peacemaker, your element will take the first 15 minutes. I will take the next 15 minutes for Peacemaker. And we'll spend 30 minutes debating this.
I'm just going to quickly set a timer for myself.
I mean, I was going to do that anyway, but hey, saves me the problem.
Well, it's also so I have one on my end, so I know how much longer I have left.
I got one pulled up too, so when Mate's ready, let me know.
Alright then. Once I do the Yoda screen, that is when you start your 15-minute rundown. I was about to say 15 seconds. You've got 15 seconds. We're on a time limit. Alright then. In 3, 2, 1. I never realized that was so delayed, but there you go.
Okay, so you guys heard of Hell's Kitchen? It's a place in New York. It's where Daredevil's from. Just after he's put Wilson Fisk away, Daredevil is a world-renowned hero. Well, not world-renowned, but city-renowned hero. Matt Murdock is getting a whole lot of clients for Nelson and Murdock. Life is doing pretty well, right? But because Wilson Fisk is away, all the territories are wide open for crime families, like the Kitchen Irish, who were planning on making a move. Then they all get slaughtered. And that is because someone's come to town to just take out everybody. People are saying, oh my god, they've been hit by an army, or everything. That's when, while investigating, Daredevil finds out it's not them, it's him. It's one man. That man is Frank Castle, the Punisher. Okay, so a little bit of backstory.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
But, yeah, so Frank Castle used to be in the military, served a whole lot, and I believe his last assignment was Cerberus, like an illegally funded, classified operation. The whole goal was to go into Afghanistan, kidnap people of interest, interrogate, kill, like, all sorts. He got out after his last mission went tits up, and not in a good way. It was pretty obvious to him that the whole thing was an ambush, because it's what he would do. Everyone got screwed, but he still went in, carried out the mission, took out an entire building full of hostiles by himself. It was actually kind of awesome. Punched his commanding officer so hard that he took his eye out. Screw that guy.
Honestly, he deserved it.
Yeah, absolutely. And he would get even worse later. So after he's out, Frank gets to go back to his family, live a peaceful life, take them out to the carousel, and it does not go well. His family are killed in front of him. So he basically wants to take out any and all criminals like he can, just to find people who are responsible for his family's death. And oh boy, does he do a good job with it. I'll just pull up my notes. Okay, so he killed all of the Hell's Dogs, cartels, and Kitchen Irish at least, like single-handedly. All one guy. Let's see. And what does he have for this kind of just crusade? Well, his arsenal consists of basically any and all type of weapon. You got knives, handguns, shotguns, machine guns, grenade launchers, grenades, and did I mention guns, and more guns?
Did you?
He sounds like a one-man American apocalypse.
Pretty much. You name a gun, odds are he might have it. So while he has a lot of weapons, he can also take a ridiculous amount of punishment. Like, oh god, this scene when he's tortured in Daredevil Season 2. After treating a cut wound, goes on a walk to the carousel where he's ambushed by some mafia guys, gets jabbed in the neck with some kind of drug, tased by multiple people, still fighting through it, by the way. And after he wakes up, he endures a whole bunch of torture, including a power drill through the foot. Which, Jesus, that scene, like, not like a drill going through someone, like, ugh. And this whole time when he's being tortured, he's reaching into his cut arm to pull out a blade. Yes, the dude sneaks razor blades into his own flesh just in case.
That's not sanitary.
Yeah, and I mentioned the power drill for the foot. After he breaks out and kills the dude who tortured him, he was still able to walk on it. Somehow.
Comic books.
Fucking.
Oh, this is live
scary.
action.
Oh, you're telling me live action's more realistic? Keep in mind, this is the
What can
same
I
guy that
say?
exists in the
Frank-
same universe as Thor Ragnarok. Alright? That's all I'm saying.
I mean, fair. He's also been able to
Right.
endure a beating from the likes of Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin himself. And he's also fought and defeated Daredevil, not once, but at least twice. The same Daredevil who has beaten Kingpin a couple times has senses who... Okay, if we look at No Way Home, like, and judge him as fairly as possible, could keep up with, like, Spider-Man's Pizza Tingle, as it's called in the movies.
Stupid name.
And that Spider-Man can dodge lightning from Electro. So, hey, thanks No Way Home for giving me this potential scaling. It's a little hip-scotch-y, but whatever. And I also want to point out this insane shot that Frank pulled off. So, there's this cartel guy in Mexico, and he brags about how the Punisher can't touch him in Mexico. If he enters the country, he's gonna get screwed. all while Frank is watching him through the scope of a sniper rifle. And as soon as he has a clear shot and, well, this dude is about to get head, Frank shoots him in the head.
Still one of my
Sorry,
favorite.
I've been wanting to make that joke. So, this dude was in... Oh, how do you pronounce that? Juarez, Mexico? Am I pronouncing that right?
Probably
Juarez,
not.
something like that, I think.
Yeah, let's go with that. And Frank was in El Paso. At least 11 miles away.
Actually, pretty impressive.
That is an insane sniper shot.
That puts Sniper Elite games to shame.
Yeah, and they brought this up in Black Widow vs. Widowmaker, how like a sniper has to be very precise on like when they pull the trigger, because even the slightest movement can mess with their shot. Now apply that to the shot Frank pulled off.
Christ.
Yeah. Oh, and he also has bullets that can pierce through armor. Like, I mentioned the Kitchen Irish that he slaughtered. At least one of them was wearing a bulletproof vest, which had entry and exit wounds. Yeah, criminals who were, like, armored. Like, they can't stop him. Yeah. And, you know, going back to the Daredevil scaling, I mentioned how he's beaten Daredevil before. The Hand. A League of Assassins. Okay, maybe not the best name, but... I mean, you know what, never mind. They're after the Iron Fist, and they're pretty confident in themselves. Once they hear that Iron Fist is aligned with Daredevil, they're scared. Because that's how good a fighter Daredevil is. And this is someone that Frank has beaten. So yeah, combine that with all the military experience, that insane sniper shot, maybe having speed like could be at least, I don't know, similar-esque to MCU Spider-Man. The dude is not to be messed with. And trust me, if you're at his mercy and he doesn't want to kill you, it's worse. Like, there's a dude called Bill, who was his best friend, his family's best friend, and had at least something to do with his family's murder. Shot the dude through the cheek, stabbed him in the gut, and scraped his face alongside a cracked mirror. You'd think, oh, he's gonna kill him, right? No, he wants him to remember this pain every time he looks at his mangled face. Then season 2 came out and he wasn't really that mangled, which was weird.
And the pain was gone. I'm not even kidding.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Jigsaw, everybody. How to ruin one of the Punisher's best villains.
Yeah. Oh, and I mentioned that guy that Frank punched his eye out. Sean, I have to ask, and do you think stabbing a dude in the throat several times, that's enough to kill them, right?
It should be.
Not for the Punisher, it's not, because after doing that to this guy, he proceeds to punch him in the face several times whilst his head is against hard concrete, then gouge his eyes out until his body stops twitching.
That's one way to punish someone.
If the Punisher wants you dead, there's nothing you can do to stop him.
So, are you sure this is the same time as when Star-Lord's doing his distraction dance?
Bring it down hard.
Like, it's just hard to imagine seeing that scene and then it's like, meanwhile, somewhere else, Sunday, what are you doing? I don't know. I don't know why. I just like to picture someone doing that. I bet someone has done a funny edit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I still remember hearing the Punisher was technically in Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I never saw anything about it though. Even on its wiki pages, there's nothing. Maybe that was just a theory. People were hoping to see it, but it never happened, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
Missed opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently it was like he was driving that truck that aids Nick Fury at one point and splatters that secretly Hydra dude.
I mean, fun
Alrighty.
cameo, but it's too fast to notice. Hey, I guess you could give him a fee
Yeah.
for that. He killed a Nazi. There you are.
Yeah. And he also happily murdered a nonce. Yeah. I also just want to quickly touch on that nonce dude I mentioned was trying to sell him whatever. Frank was just interested in some equipment, guns, or whatever. The guy brought up porn and said the goal is barely 12. Frank stops, walks up to the open sign, switches it to close, grabs a bat, and I think he can piece the rest together.
That man is a world of service.
Yep.
I remember seeing that meme, like, she's barely 12. And it's just like, it's like, oh boy, here I go killing again. From Rick and Morty. I mean, like, come on, man, you signed your death warrant at that point. The man had a daughter. Had, I should say.
Yeah, and through all the nightmares, just constantly seeing his family killed in front of him, does go on to slaughter everyone who was involved. And look, his philosophy is, if you put a criminal away and they get out, what's stopping them from killing again?
Huh, him and Peacemaker share the same
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah. Whether it be comics or live action, the Punisher is one of Marvel's scariest men on Earth with a gun. If you piss him off or get in his way, make peace with whatever god that you pray to, because they will not save you from the punishment you're about to endure.
Ah, damn. That was a really good ending line.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I really hope
That was an on-the-spot thing. I was just like, crap, think of something.
impressive.
Your time was up after that, so perfectly timed. Nice, mate. The biggest thing I learned, holy shit, this guy is still brutal.
Man,
Yeah.
I really hope Punisher Season 3 happens. I miss
All right,
it.
as we move on from the fray of the castle, let's go to the man who makes peace with a gun.
Indeed. So, I guess I'll time myself for the Yoda scream.
All right, once the Yoda screen goes off, I'll start the timer. 15 minutes on the clock for Billy.
And 3, 2, 1.
Rogaj!
I lied. I just wanted to use that one.
Your time started.
Alright then. So, the DCU. While in the world it's always going out with a bang, its box office is not so much. But, amongst all these heroes, there exists one group of villains that get apprehended by Amanda Waller for suicide missions. Hence the name, the Suicide Squad. Amongst these people is Captain Boomerang, Weasel, King Shark, Harley Quinn, Bloodsport, and Deadshot. Yes, complete two different characters, people, trust me, it's weird. And of course, Peacemaker. Also known as soon as I get his name up, because I've gone through my notes and I realised I've scrolled past his name. Christopher Smith. Christopher Smith, much like Bloodsport, was trained by his father, Uggy Smith, who I'm gonna go to eventually, because similar to Punisher's main villain, this guy he ain't a friendly man. So Peacemaker, along with his brother, were trained killers from the age of 10. And sadly for Peacemaker, not only did he have to suffer an abusive father, he was racist, misogynistic, and he was a Nazi. who also happens to have an Iron Man suit. And this isn't just a retcon for the live action. No, this is a thing in the comics as well. He's literally called the White Dragon. And he has a KKK army.
name.
Yes, it's just
The
a
name's
shame
cool.
his minions are...
Does he by chance have blue eyes?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Bravo.
Well, indeed. Now, Peacemaker, as much as he was down for killing people, he didn't like the idea of being used as a weapon for a racist dad. Shocker, I know. After his brother died, he decided he wanted to take up a name to bring justice and peace to the world through any means necessary. He doesn't care how many women and children he has to do to achieve it.
Oh my.
And people, you thought Polka Dot Man was the crazy one of the group. Now, Peacemaker was originally brought onto the Suicide Squad because he racked up a bit of a kill count of killing criminals. As one of the doctors called... At one point, he killed so many minority criminals, though, he was deemed the racist superhero of his community. Because, I'm not even kidding, the first episode, when they remembered him, they were like, "You're that racist superhero." It's like, no! I kill white people just as equally as I kill minorities. He doesn't have a positive reputation. In fact, his neighbor constantly barrades him that Batman's the better superhero. Jesus Christ, it's like going to Comic-Con all over again. However, that never stopped Peacemaker from still killing criminals until one day he got apprehended by the Suicide Squad. Now, when he was sent on this mission called Operation Butterfly, and despite what Peacemaker thinks, no, that is not a slang for butthole. He's not the wisest when it comes to superheroes, but he kills people pretty well enough. Eventually, though, it was later revealed he was sent there not to stop the project, but to make sure no secrets of American involvements in Project Starfish got out. So, eventually, though, he was left for dead by the Suicide Squad, somehow survived, don't ask, it's never revealed, and he's once again taken by a task force to, start a new project, or stop this project called Butterflies. Which turns out, tiny little butterfly aliens are living inside humans, giving them inhuman strength and plotting to destroy the world. Realizing this, he had to be like, right, I need to upgrade my gear. So he returned to his racist father, despite him really not wanting to retrieve not only his helmets, but all manner of guns that he has. Now, what type of helmets does he wield? Well, he has his traditional one that's just a bulletproof helmet. It's not that special. He has a... I'm going to name the ones that aren't really that effective in this fight. He has one for breathing underwater. That's really not going to play a factor in this. He also has anti-gravity, which allows him to fly. He has one which, in my notes, I don't know what this is, but apparently it's like a rash thing. So when he activates this helmet, it gives people pockets or something like that. Basically, everyone in a mile radius gets itchy, except for the user of the helmet. And apparently his father... Scabies, that was it. He also has... Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'll put an image of it on screen. I'm probably disgusted loads of people. You're welcome. Human Torpedo, which, as the name implies, sends him flying like a torpedo, which, luckily, whenever he activates these things, it gives him a force field. Speaking of which, he has a force field helmet. X-ray vision helmet, which allows him to see through walls, humans. It allows him to detect whenever someone had a butterfly in their head so he could shoot their brains out. And of course, though, let's be real here, everyone knows Peacemaker's helmet's power for this very awesome scene, Sonic Boom. For which, when he just goes, activate Sonic Boom, puts him in his force field, and just blasts off a shockwave that vaporizes people anywhere near him, including superhumans. I think when that was introduced in the first episode, it did make you wonder why they didn't give this to him on the Suicide Squad mission. Probably because they didn't think of it at the time. But, of course, being the Peacemaker, he has a lot of peacemaking to do. So he has his classic modified Desert Eagle weapon that has been modified to be used as a sniper rifle. He can use different ammo, like I can't remember what it was called, the small compression bullet, from which, when it hits you, you have 3 seconds to make whatever piece you can with your god before you go explodey. He has incinerator rounds, and he has high power rounds that could shoot through armor with 1 shot. In fact, just 1 shot from this weapon can take a man's head clean off. It can be used for long range, short range, whichever the situation calls for. He, of course, has 2 6-shooters, which him and his friend Vigilante, yes, that's literally his friend's name, who is one of the best characters in the Peacemaker show. He's basically Deadpool if he was a nerd. And they don't kill innocent people, usually, unless there's been a mistake. I'm not even kidding, that's actually a line from the show. When he's talking to Peacemaker, he actually just says, like, we only kill bad people, unless there's been a mistake. Peacemaker's looking at him like, wait, what? Like, what do you mean? He has a machine gun, a submachine gun, a silent shotgun, automatic shotgun, high caliber sniper rifle, the same one that Frank Castle used to kill that Mexican man, and tomahawks, swords, grenades, incendiary rounds, and bow and arrow. I felt like I should leave that for last, because I don't really think a bow and arrow is really going to kill the Punisher. The lamest way to kill the Punisher. Now, of course, with his extensive training, he was trained by someone who fought in the military, and he got trained by... He was deemed the best soldier in his... What a lot of his father's past is kind of unknown. Oh wait, I was just going through my notes. He also has poison darts that can instantly kill you. So, he was self-taught and he's skilled in various styles of martial arts. He mostly goes for overwhelming, like, strength. I can't remember what the fighting style is called, but it's a style that uses your entire body's momentum and adrenaline to overpower your opponents. He uses this to defeat swarms of butterflies, and oh yeah, he also has a shield. He only used it in 1 episode in the season, but I just thought it was cool to bring up. Oh yeah, another attention to detail, I put this in my notes. All his guns and swords, even his poison darts, which I don't even know how he did this given how small they are, all have the Dove of Peace. Because, in his words, how can I kill in the name of freedom without the Dove of Peace? Eventually one of his colleagues said, like, alright, draw one on there, and he just goes, every time I draw the Dove of Peace, it looks like a ghost. Seriously, people, if you've not seen the Peacemaker show, do yourself a favour, binge it, as well as the Punisher show. That's also a really good show. Seriously, Peacemaker's the best thing that ever came out of the DCU, and I'm glad it's still continuing. Against the butterflies, which are like superhuman, like powerful creatures, they can smash through walls with ease. They can lift. You guys have seen the size of John Cena, right?
Yeah.
Well, when he, I kid you not, had sex with one of these butterflies, but he wasn't aware of it. He just saw some 80s lady. She was able to pick him up off the floor and hurl him out of a building, and he went crashing down and hitting a car. And he just got up like, I need to run. I need to get my sonic boom helmet. The man is durable. He's been thrown through walls. He's been hit by his own explosives. He literally had that giant castle fall on top of him after he got shot in the throat by Bloodsport. And before that, he was already fighting Agent, I think it's Captain Flag or something like that. He was a comic book character, but he was just reduced to being a soldier in the Suicide Squad films. But this character went up against Enchantress from the first Suicide Squad film, who was capable of ripping apart not space time, just reality to open a dimension into hell. And Rick Flag, that was his name. And yeah, Rick Flag is pretty much capable of dealing with, like, world-ending threats, as it literally took the Suicide Squad to save the world. It's kind of crazy how in the DCU, the villains have saved the world more times than the heroes. That's how you know you've f***ed up a cinematic universe. when we're more cheering for Black Adam than we are Shazam.
Yeesh.
I'm going to pause the time real quick for clarification on something.
Yeah?
There were 2 Suicide Squad movies. Are they in the same timeline, or are they separate canons?
They're the same canon, so from what I'm assuming from James Gunn, elements from the first Suicide Squad film and the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker are going to remain canon. And Blue Beetle.
Okay.
Those are the only... That's why I'm calling it the DCU, not the DCEU. So,
Okay.
Suicide Squad films, Peacemaker, Blue Beetle, they're the DCU. Everything else is its own canon.
Alrighty, that's just for clarification because I know, like, the Suicide Squad first film was a disaster.
Oh, it did well in the box office, but... Ugh. Yeah,
Alright, Bill,
don't watch that film. Watch the
Yeah,
Suicide
don't watch it.
Squad. And then Peacemaker.
Alright, Bill, you ready to go? You
yeah, I've
have
got-
3 minutes and 42 seconds.
Alright then. Let's go.
And resume.
So, after taking down the butterflies though, it was finally time to stop his racist father, who he had to fight him when he was in his Iron Man suit, the White Dragon. And to give an idea how fast this suit of armor was, he was capable of flying halfway across, I think they're in Texas, I'm pretty sure that's the place. But yeah, he was in like the enormous prison, and he went to the forest in a matter of minutes when he got his armor on. Apparently, I think he was like 30 miles away. So the fact he was able to track down his son and fly to him in a matter of minutes shows he's a pretty fast guy with a jetpack. And this suit also allows him to fight on par with superhuman characters. It is capable of defeating multiple swarms of the butterfly superhumans, as I mentioned, can shatter walls of ease, jump enormous heights with little effort. And the fact Peacemaker was able to fight this guy, even pulling off his armored helmet, and then ironically killing his father with a Nazi-designed pistol. I don't know why. I love the little irony in that. So after he was done with his father, he went ahead to stop the butterflies once and for all. Actually kind of befriended one of them because he truly believes they want to bring peace, because the big plot twist of the butterflies is they want to bring world peace. They've seen the violence humanity can cause, but their methods behind it were to brainwash powerful people. Not innocent people, just those in power. And they almost got Peacemaker on his side, but unfortunately the group that he was part of would just not let that happen. Peacemaker also had to choose between life and death for this because he still has the Suicide Squad bomb implanted in his neck. Upon saying that though, he did spare the life of the leader of the butterflies, and he still to this day stands for peace. However, with the small group that he ended up befriending, Vigilante, the Task Force, even that sad nerd guy that mocked him with Batmite. Batmite is a character that follows Batman around and just mocks him. But while Peacemaker lost his family, he also, in a sick, gruesome way, made a new one. And him and the Butterfly, as well as Task Force, aim for one thing: peace in the world by any means necessary. And just maybe, he doesn't have to kill too many people to get that. At least until Season 2. And that's how I'll end it.
Alrighty.
So,
That story is definitely interesting.
yeah, it was honestly kind of a good twist, knowing that the butterflies weren't necessarily evil, they just wanted peace, but they did it through a pretty messed up way. But,
Usually the way it goes.
hey, they only wanted to get those in power. But, yep, that is Peacemaker. So, shall we debate this, mate?
How long are we doing this for?
I'll say 30 minutes. I think that'd be
Do
enough.
we...
Okay,
I
good,
think
because that's
it
what I
may-
set my timer to.
Okay.
30 minutes, okay.
Alright, just let me
Let
know
me
when
just
you
set the
start the
timer
timer.
here for 30 minutes. Alright. 30 minutes to debate. Are you two ready?
I'm
No.
ready. Nothing like a bit of bloodbath
Okay.
to start the day.
Waiting for me to be ready.
Oh no, I was just taking the mic.
Oh. God damn it. Alright, 3, 2, 1, let's begin!
Okay, so... Okay, in terms of guns, I think they're pretty much even. They're both highly skilled with weaponry. But here's the question, mate. Does Punisher have any
Yeah, I
unique
could
sort of
see that.
Yeah, like machine guns, pistols, sniper rifles, you know, the whole shebang. Alright then, so like... what type of ammo can you really say the Punisher has that can kill the Peacemaker?
I can at least say armor piercing.
It's not going to do well against someone who put up a force field.
Maybe explosive rounds? Because he shoots a sniper rifle and blows up a whole bunch of bikes.
Yeah, okay, I could kind of see explosive rounds also being part of his arsenal. I don't remember that specific one, but I wouldn't be surprised if that...
It was the episode where he had Daredevil chained up with a gun duct taped to his hand.
That's an iconic scene. I don't even remember that. Straight out of comics as well, by the way. Not even kidding. Okay, explosive rounds are good. However, Peacemaker's force fields were created so that he could survive, like, well, the sonic boom. Hence why whenever he says activate sonic boom, the shield comes on first. Because, yeah, that helmet... When someone took off the helmet of Peacemaker and they said activate sonic boom, the shield didn't form around him, even the user would die. Because this thing managed to level an entire farm as well. With the barn, the house, and even the cow field. And that was from one sonic boom. And the limit that was said in the show, it can be used up to 4 to 5 times, depending on how long you give it time. So, theoretically, what is stopping Peacemaker from just simply grabbing Frank and just going, activate sonic boom, and just blows him up?
I mean, he would have to get in close first.
Yeah, he doesn't even actually need to hold him, actually. It goes on for... It took out an entire car part, so if Punisher is just a few feet in front of him, he can just go, activate sonic boom, and if Punisher doesn't see it coming, splat, he's done.
Yeah. I mean, Punisher's able to see a lot coming, like, in a gunfight, he can avoid getting shot.
This thing literally goes off instantly, like, it's faster than a gun.
Well, it sounds like, though, Peacemaker needs to say the words to activate it. So, technically, Punisher could see that coming and avoid it.
He would need to be moving really fast to do that.
I mean, he can keep up with Daredevil.
I don't think we've seen
And
Daredevil.
Daredevil is pretty freaking quick.
I can't say he's on par with a lot of superhumans like the Peacemaker has faced. And the other thing about Punisher, unlike Peacemaker, Peacemaker tries his best to avoid getting hit because, being an idiot, he doesn't really wear a lot of armor. Whereas Punisher keeps on taking hits, which ends up, unless he can build his adrenaline and his rage, it doesn't always work out well for him. There's been plenty of instances in the show where he has been left near bleeding to death. Don't get me wrong, Guts would approve. It's not a guaranteed win, though. In fact, he's had to be helped on many occasions. Peacemaker, on the other hand, he took the shit out for beaten up by this, I mean, don't get me wrong, very attractive monster lady, and was able to get up and steal her music. I'm not even kidding. When he was trying to flee to get back his stuff, he quickly grabbed all her, like, 80s music and escaped. While having bruises, cuts, and stab wounds.
All that for music?
Yeah, seriously, he went back for his gear because obviously he can't leave evidence, but he was like, wait a minute. After he was done having sex with her, he was singing into her dildo like it was a microphone to her music. So he's a big 80s fan. Seriously, I'm just enjoying talking about Peacemaker. It's such a funny show.
I will admit, a bit of an issue with talking about MCU Punisher is that he doesn't really go up against a lot of, like, superhuman-esque people. It's just Daredevil mostly is the only one he's interacted with.
What about Kingpin?
He took a beating from Kingpin.
I was going to say. And all those prisoners in season 1 of... season 2 of Daredevil. Still one of my favourite Punisher fight scenes.
Yeah, and I did just think of another way you could do a bit of hipscotch scaling. Like, because he beat Daredevil multiple times, and Daredevil was able to take some smashing from She-Hulk.
You know what? That's fair enough. Man, Daredevil's living the dream.
That's still one of my favorite scenes in She-Hulk, just the morning after. Like, just broad daylight in the suit, shoes in his hands, just morning.
Daredevil did the walk of shame, people. I will say it's kind of funny with there's so much that MCU Punisher and DCU Peacemaker have in common. They've both banged superhuman characters, and they both fight for peace, and they both had to kill douchebag leaders. You know, Punisher had to kill someone who was the head of his squad. Peacemaker had to kill his dad, who was a Nazi. He deserved it. He even killed his ghost. Okay, I'm not sure if it was actually
Here's
a
the
ghost.
question.
But when he came back to try and haunt it, it was just like, oh, just go away. Just shot a poison dart at him and killed him instantly. It was, again, another funny scene.
So, I want to touch on the Peacemaker training question that I have here, because you said he was trained by someone from the military. What branch of the military was Peacemaker's dad?
It's really unknown of what his father was. However, his father was also a brilliant scientist. In his house, he has, like, essentially, I'm not even kidding, a quantum room, which it's kind of like a TARDIS, where, you know, it looks like a cupboard, but as soon as you open it, it's like a huge room full of, like, all these weaponry, Iron Man suits, or White Dragon suits, and the Peacemaker helmets. Because he designed the helmets, not Peacemaker himself, because he's an idiot. Like, as much as I want to give him, like, oh, he's really smart. No, Peacemaker's an idiot. He knows how to kill people, and he's a master of weaponry. In fact, Amanda Waller commended, saying that any weapon in Peacemaker's hand is the deadliest weapon on Earth. Though at the same time, this is also said about Bloodsport, and he was just like, are you shitting me? He does exactly what I do, but better.
I thought you were going to compare that to Deadshot, because we know how insanely skilled Deadshot is.
Deadshot is skilled. In fact, but he wasn't meant to be in the Suicide Squad film until Will Smith got into some controversy before then, and I'm not talking about the smack. However, though, funny bit about Bloodsport, he was able to shoot Superman with a kryptonite bullet while he was flying. So, how fast is Superman? In his very first movie, Man of Steel, the start of the DCU, when he...
Wait, hold on. I thought James Gunn said elements of just Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad and the Peacemaker show, like, were kind of going forward. Does that include Man of Steel?
That is a good question. However, we don't exactly know how
No, you're the
powerful-
one who said the statement.
Yeah, that is a good point. Well, if we're just going to assume how he's going to make Superman, though, it's going to be like... Okay, if we had to lowball it, though, I don't think Superman's going to be nerfed from the Man of Steel movie. However, he was still able to shoot Superman, which, in the Man of Steel movie, who people say is the weakest one, he was capable of flying a rat from the Arctic to Africa in 5 seconds, while he was still in training with his flight. Now, I know I did say, like, going forward to DCU, it should be clear, this canon change didn't get made until after Blue Beetle.
Alright, fair. And also, I just want to say, like, well, yeah, you could argue, oh, so we're scaling to a hypothetical Superman that doesn't have any feats. It's still f***ing Superman.
Yeah, if somehow this Superman can't fly really fast, it's like... I think it did say it wrong with there, James. But anyway, now Peacemaker hasn't shot Superman before. He has constantly cussed him out, though, on many occasions. Apparently saying he's a very kinky person as well. I don't know how he would know that, but if you do read the comics, let's just say he's pleased Lois Lane.
That's what you get for hanging around Captain Boomerang all the time.
Pour one out for our boy. Seriously, man.
Okay,
That film opened up killing Best Boy.
I have a question about the shield.
Yeah.
How much can it take?
So, when it was used in the finale, it was capable of, like, deflecting punches from the Butterfly superhumans, and it never took any dents, though he did just drop it to enter the base. It was a bit weird. However, this is a shield that can... It's not like Captain America's shield. It can, like, basically shrink. Well, not shrink, but, you know, like... How do I describe it? Like, fold itself, I guess, so that he can bring it out instantly. So, he always has it on him at the ready. He also has a sword that's collapsible. That's what I want to look for. Yeah, collapsible shield, collapsible axe, and collapsible shield. Basically means it can shrink down, it can be like fold up so it can be put away better. And given the fact his father dabbled with quantum technology, it's not too impossible. But yeah, so the main part was so he was able to match Bloodsport's quick draw on the same speed time. During the events of the Suicide Squad, when Bloodsport noticed he was about to kill a rat girl, I can't remember what her name actually was. Ratcatcher, that was it, Ratcatcher 2. Bloodsport and Peacemaker immediately drew their guns to hit each other, and they both hit their bullets at the exact same time. The only reason Peacemaker lost was because Bloodsport's pistol bullet was much smaller and managed to shoot through his pistol. It's still one of the most coolest shots from that film. It just
that was pretty cool.
Yeah. But he got shot in the throat, and he was still alive from that and survived the building falling on top of him. Granted, he was kind of out for the count for a few months.
And had to be revived in a hospital or something.
Yeah, but it really did goes to show it takes a lot to kill this guy, and as we've seen before, he could deal with superhumans. By the way, how much time do we have? So I forgot to set a timer for me.
18 minutes.
Okay, so...
I've got the same amount.
Okay. So, 18 minutes.
So, from what I'm understanding, we have two dudes with similar degrees of experience. I want to say, I don't know, maybe Punisher might have a bit more because he seems older, but I don't know by how much. So let's just say they're even.
I think he's like 50 in the show, and I think Peacemaker's just under 40. So I could definitely agree with that.
Okay.
Especially since a lot of Peacemaker's time was in prison before he joined the Suicide Squad.
Okay. Meanwhile, one wears body armor covering just his body, not his head. One dude doesn't wear armor except for his helmet and has that shield.
And I will say, Punisher wearing body armor, he's a lot smarter than Peacemaker. But
yeah, he's also very tactful as well. Like, Punisher is a smart dude.
True, he's kind of like the Batman, where he has gadgets, he's always planning ahead.
Yeah, and he can also think pretty well on the fly. Like, when he was going to fight Bill at the carousel, he pulled out a grenade launcher and fired it at the right trajectory to make Bill think that he was shooting from the other side. So he could save a couple teenagers that Bill kidnapped.
Impressive.
It's kind of funny how on lads' videos we tend to talk about a lot of different Bills. That's not just me.
So, by the sounds of it, you can give the smarts advantages to Punisher, at least from a tactical perspective.
Oh yeah, I can 100% believe that because Peacemaker's an idiot. He's great with weaponry and stuff like that, and even close quarters combat. It's just he's not a tactical genius. Most of the time, he does heavily rely on his. So the fighting style, I'm trying to think of what it's called. I'll probably put it on screen if I can't remember the name of it. He does rely on like heavy sort of like attacks. He's always about overwhelming opponents.
Sort of like slugger boxing.
Kind of, but he doesn't. Sluggers leave themselves open, whereas this style he still fights with defensively, but he just always channels in like a lot of like power into his attacks.
It's kind of like how the Monster Hunter kind of relies on their arsenal in their first fights, essentially.
Yeah. The other thing I would give Peacemaker though is just he has just more access to various of ammo capacity. Explosive ammo is handy for Punish. If you know,
armor piercing.
Yeah, which I don't even think he would need to use that for Peacemaker unless he puts his shield up. The downside is though, Peacemaker has those compressor bullets, which yeah, it takes 2 seconds. But the fact is, the moment that hits you, it doesn't need to hit anywhere vital. The moment it makes contact, you've got 3 seconds before you just explode into nothing. You literally become mush.
Well, I mean, there's nothing stopping Frank from just dodging it.
True, but given how risky he fights...
Which Which begs the question, who's faster?
I would give that to Peacemaker because he's managed to match Bloodsport. If we're going by the Man of Steel canon, he was able to shoot Superman while he was in the air. Superman's flight from the Arctic to Africa in a matter of seconds. So he's definitely faster than light. And Bloodsport managed to shoot him down, and him and Peacemaker managed to draw their guns at the same time and fire.
Well, that's assuming we're counting Man of Steel, even though that wasn't in any of the descriptions when I asked the original question.
Also, we don't really have all the context.
True.
Like, wasn't it that he just said he did it? Like, we don't know the exact scenario.
I guess. But even if you were to assume that, okay, you don't want to give Bloodsport, like, the Superman feats, he's still capable of dealing with other characters like the Butterfly characters and Judo Master. While he's a midget, he was capable of knocking out Vigilante. Okay, Judo Master is like a short bodyguard for one of the Butterflies, though he's a human that fully supports the Butterfly's goals. Now, despite him being short though, he was capable of overpowering Vigilante, who is a superpowered character. He has enhanced strength and speed and a healing factor, hence why I brought up the whole Deadpool. And Judo Master was able to defeat Vigilante no problem. Vigilante was capable of holding off 20 Butterflies at once with just a knife and pistol. And Peacemaker managed to defeat Judo Master with little ease. And Judo Master is apparently, well, if the name applies, he's a master of Jiu-Jitsu and Judo, which relies a lot on using your opponent's overwhelming power to your advantage. And Peacemaker just get the shit out of him.
Okay.
And if it isn't... Okay, but that's... How about I tell you... Remember how I said butterflies enhance human strength when they infect a human? They also did that to a gorilla. Yes, they stole a gorilla from a zoo just so a butterfly could enhance a gorilla's already peak strength. Like, a gorilla's already way stronger than a human. But now it has the combined strength of a butterfly messing with their genes.
And for clarification, Peacemaker fought that gorilla, yeah?
He fought him.
Wait, was it like with guns or was it hand to hand?
A bit of everything. In fact, coming up to his next weaponry that he always wanted to use, he has not a nuke, but he basically took the warhead off a tank missile and he used that on the factory that had the butterfly and gorilla in it. So he threw it, wasn't aware how powerful the explosion was, got caught in it, and he was fine. This thing leveled half a factory that the butterflies were in. And this is without the force field. He didn't put his force field up. He didn't think how powerful the blast was going to be. Hence why I mentioned he's a bit reckless when it comes to his weaponry. I mean, it gets the job done.
Okay. Yeah, well, I can really compare, like, Frank to, like, fighting skill-wise, and speed is just Daredevil. He's arguably the single most impressive person that Frank's fought and beaten.
Okay, so what does Daredevil specialize in this version of Daredevil?
Let's see, he's capable of beating the crap out of people from the Hand, which are, like, trained ninja assassins. The Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, multiple times, in fact. Could have easily killed him if he wanted to in their second fight, but bartered with him to like have him go back to prison. Otherwise, he'll bring out some evidence that will put the love of his life in prison, and who knows what would happen to her.
Okay.
And I mentioned No Way Home, he was able to catch that brick around the similar sort of time that Peter was about to.
Okay, wait, so this Daredevil was, in fact, the same one in No Way Home? Okay.
Yeah, and Peter would go on to dodge lightning from Electro.
So, the only other thing I can think of when it comes to like Daredevil is just like, does Daredevil still use the same weaponry we've seen him use in the comic books, or is it slightly? Oh, okay. It seems like while they both have fought insanely impressive people.
Yeah, I would say if we had to say superhuman characters, I would say they're pretty even because Daredevil has high reflexes, and I know there's the theory that his sensors are much better than Spider-Man's until we actually see them working together or fighting each other in the films. I'm not sure how true it is.
I'm at least saying similar based on that moment in No Way Home.
Oh, and also, Bill, that rumor came from because it was something that Stan Lee said. That's where that rumor started.
Ah, right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Even though the comic books kind of contradict that.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what though? If I had to really say like how skilled in hand-to-hand combat is, or even just with his sword combat, during the Suicide Squad film, when all those armored soldiers were about to attack the Suicide Squad during the rain, he was capable of slashing through all these armored soldiers in a matter of seconds before they could even react to Peacemaker, because he is pretty good with his like stealth. I mean, I don't know how someone as colourful as that is so stealthy. Like him and Bloodsport had like a killing contest when they were in that. What they thought was a terrorist camp, it turns out to be a resistance camp, and they accidentally slaughtered a bunch of innocent people. Still one of the funniest moments. I remember the theatre busting out laughing when they was like, "Oh, these are the guys that are leader of the resistance. How do my people let you in? People? But we never saw any people."
It definitely sounds like so far it's a contest between skill and speed versus technology and just a sonic boom.
Yeah, I would argue he has more melee options. So let's say Punisher was a lot better at hand-to-hand combat. He's still got to compete with the Tomahawk and sword and shield. And Peacemaker has used the sword and shield at the same time.
Wow, that is impressive.
Best I can see Frank pulling out in that scenario is like 1 or 2 combat knives.
Yeah, I never found any
something
knives.
Mate said.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Something Mate said, Punisher was able to like hide razor blades within himself, so he could do a surprise melee attack.
True, though Punisher has survived being stabbed in the past multiple times. Well, I mentioned he banged that superhuman, got stabbed up a bunch, managed to escape while stealing her music at the same time. I don't know, how much time have we got? Again, I forgot to put a timer on.
Less than 6 minutes.
6 minutes, alright then. I don't really have any... I tell you what, here's a question, mate. How resistant is Punisher to poison? Because a blow dart that Peacemaker uses was able to instantly kill someone.
I don't really recall him ever dealing with it, although there is that drug he was jabbed with at the carousel, although he still kept fighting, and even after getting tased multiple times. Like, it took a lot to finally put him down. But I wouldn't even say that was poison, because he woke up, like, later and slaughtered everyone with a drill hole through his foot.
I think it depends on what either the drug or poison is made of. It's always a complicated thing.
And even then, there's the argument of he could just dodge it.
Oh, these things are like really small. Like you would not see them coming. That's the whole point of them. That's why I don't believe they actually have the Dover piece. It's like how the hell do you put them on a blow dart?
So here's an interesting question: would it penetrate Punisher's armor, and can Punisher's bullets penetrate Peacemaker's helmets?
Not likely. His helmets like when the force field wasn't activated, his other helmets were capable of surviving against a sonic boom. But here's the other thing though. What happens when he activates anti-gravity and he's just flying around the battlefield? He has aerial advantage then.
That is true.
I would say...
Wait, is it the same helmet or just is it different helmets? Because you said it was different helmets.
Yeah, he has to put on a different helmet. In fact, I was also going to give Human Torpedo. The problem with that is it's not that accurate. When one of his colleagues wore it, he was immediately like, no, because it is still a prototype. I was also hesitant to give this helmet, which shoots out tiny little a mini. You know that the thing that the Mandalorian used in the show where he fires those tiny little heat-seeking darts. There was concept art of that helmet being in Season 1, but it never came into fruition, so I don't count it. However, he has upgraded some of his helmets to have the Force Field and Sonic Boom attached to them. The only one that doesn't have it is the Torpedo and Anti-Gravity helmet. Though he has all these helmets on him thanks to his quantum technology. Now, there is a disadvantage though. He has to take off the helmet to put on the next one.
Yeah. I still need to know just how tough the helmets are, because that does tie into something that Frank did in his first fight with Daredevil.
Well,
because Daredevil's suit is armored, and one shot to the face cracked his helmet. He was lucky to survive because the dude who made it said that, like, I can't remember the exact distance, but it would have killed him, and it did mess up his senses for a while.
Oh, yeah. Well, the helmet that Punisher wore, which was in Season 1, but then he had to trade it to the cab driver because he couldn't pay him, managed to survive the building collapsing on top of him, and it was completely unscathed. But when he got his newer helmet, sorry, I had a bit of a burp there, I was drinking a Pepsi. When a butterfly was punching him in the head, the monster actually had to flick his hand because they hurt. And these are guys that are capable of ripping through crystal walls. Like, literally, there's a giant crystal wall in one of the butterfly's hideouts, which can only be broken through either a C4 explosive or the creature's just ripping it open.
Yeah. I mean, Daredevil's suit has survived stuff collapsing on top of him before. Like the ending of The Defenders.
Yeah, but it wasn't...
Oh, it seems like that technically Punisher's bullet... was that an armor-piercing bullet that got shot at Daredevil's helmet?
It was never specified in that fight. He just pulls out a gun and shoots him in the face, and he falls off a building.
So that would beg the other question. When he fought Daredevil, did Punisher know about him in advance?
Most likely.
It's not really specified, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Yeah, he was like a big name at the end of Season 1. But the thing about the helmets is, yeah, they're practically indestructible. Bullets can't hit through them. Explosives. Superhumans have never been able to break them. Heck, even the White Dragon, when he tried to punch Peacemaker, his first thought was to remove the helmet because, well, it's too strong. And funny enough, that's what Peacemaker did to his dad and shot him in the face. So they were both on even footing. And that's the other thing. He was depowered. He lost his helmet and still beat his dad, who had an armor advantage.
Interesting.
Even without that suit, he was able to fight his way out of prison when butterflies took over the prison. So even without the suit, he's pretty strong for just a human. I mean, for all I know, it will reveal in Season 2 that he's actually a super-powered Captain America. Captain Nazi.
And that's the way Bill's going to end the timer. Thanks, Billy.
Oh, really? That's how I end it? All right, then.
Yep, time is up. The debate has ended.
All right, Sean, what's your verdict?
There was a lot going for both of them. Like, the Sonic Boom's an instant win. There's no way Punisher can survive that. However, Punisher does have weaponry that can pierce through the helmet more than likely due to him being able to crack Daredevil's helmet on just one shot. And yes, Punisher technically is smarter and has better experience, while by a slight margin, Peacemaker does have the better means for defenses. But that being said, the winner of this last debate is the Punisher because of the speed. I buy the speed argument more for Punisher than Peacemaker, so Punisher wins.
Hey, let's go.
Even though I did say his helmet has survived anything at Daredevil, but fair enough.
It's just like, I think if that Man of Steel stuff is like, yeah, it is canon, then you can't give it to Peacemaker technically, but since it's not, I have to buy the argument that Mate did bring up.
Yeah, fair enough. I do think.
Thank you, way home.
I do think he has the better arsenal though with the helmets and stuff.
Yeah, that's why I said it was slight. Yeah, that's why I said it was a slight advantage in that aspect.
Yeah, fair enough. I personally disagree, but hey, Punisher's the winner now. But who knows? Maybe this will be another. We've had a few lads debates where a majority of the people didn't side of us. Oh wait, no, the last one didn't.
Hey,
so.
It happens, but GG to both of you two. What a fun! That was fun to learn about. Mate, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. But can Mate keep this win streak going with the next lads debate? So, yes, people, the next lads debate after this one, and given a certain show that's just come out, and funny enough, this is a similar reason we did Peacemaker for lads debate, we are doing, Mate can correct me if I'm saying this right, Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender versus Rain from the original Mortal Kombat timeline, not the rebooted one, because that Rain slaughters.
Yeah, we decided on that before MK1 came out for clarification.
And plus, to be fair, I think I prefer the older Rain over the newer one.
The newer one has a better design. That's it.
Yeah, I doubt that. So, and yes, new Avatar shows coming out, Mortal Kombat's getting more content, so, hey, why not? So, that is this episode of Lads Debate, people. Who do you think wins between MCU Punisher versus DCU Peacemaker? Let us know in the comments down below. At the time this episode comes out, the poll is up, so start voting on who you think wins. And with all that said, if you enjoyed this content here, be sure to share the video around, keep the channel growing. Farewell, everybody.
I
am not
Is
sorry.
that your way of saying you're salty?
No, I just love this new soundboard we got. Goodbye, everybody.